Hi, everyone. Welcome to another wonderful episode of Margot with Margot. How are you doing tonight? Hi, I hope you're having a good time. Well, today's episode, we're going to discuss the power of the subconscious mind, or 10 steps on how to control your thoughts and your mind, which I think is a really great discussion to have. There's a lot of different things we could talk about, but one of the most powerful things we could talk about is the power of our intellect, the power of our thoughts, and how do we create new patterns and new behavior, right? Because of the way we are. So today is Wednesday, April 22nd. So come on in. We'll have a really great discussion. I'm going to grab my glass of wine real quick and say hello to everyone. Hello, happy Wednesday. We'll call it Wine Wednesday. Thank you for joining me for another wonderful episode of Margot with Margot. I have my favorite glass. Now, this glass comes from my husband's family. It's about 200 years old. Hello. Hi. Happy Wednesday to you too, guys. Love you guys. Thank you for joining me. Well, this is my favorite glass, and it's my favorite wine. So that's how we came up with the name, Margot with Margot. Hi. So we'll take a sip. Today is Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. And you know why it's a happy Wednesday? It's because you took the time to join me. You could have done anything else with your time, but for some reason, we're here. Hi. And we're going to have a really good time. So here you go. Mmm. Oh, that is just simply divine. I thought about over the years of maybe doing a show, but I always felt I really was a better person behind the scenes, like business person or producer. I never really wanted to do TV because I felt that just to pursue it for fame and wealth, I wasn't really interested in. But over a lot of great thought and consideration, I realized what I could do is just help people, correct? And make it interesting and helpful because I truly believe there's not enough good information out there in the world. Typically, we get our information from our parents. Okay, that's fine. Now, if you had great parents and great opportunities and your life is I wouldn't say planned out, but you have great opportunities based on your family structure and their wealth and power and position, whatever the case may be. But if you're a regular person, I would say just a person with normal parents, with whatever issues they may have, and you were raised in this sort of environment, and then you went to school, and that environment in school wasn't so great. How do you create the life that you want? Correct? You're tired of working two jobs. Why do I have all these problems? It's time to take control of your life and your destiny. Now, you've seen a lot of videos and you've seen a lot of people over the years, self help books, gurus, a whole bit. And, um, and you've gotten tired of it. You really have gotten tired because you try a few things for a week or 2 weeks, doesn't work. You think, what am I doing here? How can the power of your mind change your life, or the power of positive thinking? And the reason why it works is that human beings were always meant to be loving and positive. We're connected to the universe, we're connected to God, we have a purpose to love and give and support each other in this physical realm. Because, right, we're spiritual beings living this human experience, and we're here for this relatively short period of time. But I'm going to challenge you to say, well, I think humans were meant to live maybe 3, 4, 500 years. Our limitations in medicine, our limitations on how to heal ourselves, our limitations on our food supply and the way food is sold, manufactured, and processed has a lot of chemicals. It has a lot to do with the body. So if you're sitting there, you're 60, 70, 80 years old, you're listening to me for the first time, keep in mind, you're still in your youth. You are still in your youth. You are not too old. 70 is young. If you're going to live 300 years, isn't 70 quite young? Now you're asking yourself, why is Marco saying 70 is young when the average age statistically is 80? It's because something has happened in the past doesn't mean we can't reinvent the future, correct? That you, right now, listening to me, could live way past 100 and 200 years based on if you could figure out the ability to self-heal, which is very possible because we're spiritual beings, correct? And then when we go to sleep at night, our bodies heal. So how do you tap into the inner healing? So we're going to do a show on that. We're going to do a show on other really interesting subjects as well. Let's just quickly go to the coronavirus update because I've been giving you guys an update every day. What were your thoughts on today's presentation and what's going on in the world? I like the protesting. I have to say, there are a lot of people who really want to work. They don't have a bank account with lots of money sitting in it. Their kids are sitting there. They want to take control of their destiny and get back to work. Now, obviously, depending on your career and what you have, you're going to maybe have to reinvent yourself. And you may have to do things under the table. I mean, I'm not suggesting that, but if I had a business or a job or a company and I had to make money, I would do whatever it took. So if it meant reinventing myself, doing other things, going across the cell, I would work on survival because I think it's important that every day you work toward taking care of yourself and your family. And obviously, we have the coronavirus going on. In 6 months, this is going to be part of the past. I just know it will be. I read an article just recently. They've done a study that after 8 weeks, the virus changes quite a bit. That was a town hall article that I posted, talked about yesterday. And what I'll do is I'll post it again today. Just read that article because it talked about that it reaches a certain peak and then it goes away. So, and if you notice in the president's speech today, he was hoping by the fall that coronavirus won't be here anymore. I feel honestly that's probably going to be the case. That's just my feeling. I could be wrong. We'll readdress it. If I am wrong, I'll mention it again in the future, but it can, I think we're getting it on, I think we have it under more control than what is talked about. Now, everybody keeps talking about everyone needs to gets tested, but it doesn't matter. If I get tested today and tomorrow I get coronavirus, then I didn't get another test, I still had coronavirus. So the idea of testing everyone who are asymptomatic is a little overkill. Now, if you have a specific job, you're dealing with the public, or you're doing a certain job where you're meeting lots of people, you should get tested. But if you're at home and you don't have any symptoms, why are you getting tested unless you're going to be out in the public and do something in the public? I always wear a mask. I do as well. So that's my corona's update, virus update. I'm happy to get over that. Yay. Okay, so let's get to the juicy stuff. Now you're asking yourself, what is Marga going to tell me to control my mind? Well, a couple of things. One, I just talked about aging. I'm going to go through a list. So I'm going to go through the list. I don't want to write out the list. So if you miss some of the information, feel free to obviously go back, rewatch the video, and think about it. Now, you also can email me if you have any questions of anything I mentioned as well. Okay, here are the 10 steps of taking control of your subconscious mind. Now, the first step is you have to have a desire. Because if I just say, hey, Mike, change your subconscious mind, where's the motivation? So first off, I need to get you motivated to change your subconscious mind, correct? So the first step is asking yourself, what do you want in life? Do you want better health, happy relationships, or more wealth? Pick it. I don't know what it is, but choose something. Now, obviously, depending on your goal, there's going to be a lot more involved, but that's just a basic thing. So let's just go through the steps. So first step is, what do you want from life? So suppose you want better health. Okay, let's give that an example. Next thing I want you to do is to write down the goal. What does better health look like to you? Perhaps you're having some type of ailment, some type of illness. So you write down, I want to cure myself of this. I want to cure myself of bad headaches. I want to create a life that's healing and positive. Every day when I wake up every day when I go to bed, my body is healing itself. It's healing my physical self. So write down these affirmations. Now, if it's wealth, you could write something like, God's wealth is circulating in my life. It flows to me in avalanches of abundance. So creating a wealth. I am getting wealthy every day. I'm getting more successful every day. Once you get sort of a general idea, write down specifically what it is that you want. So to just say I recommend stating a certain amount of money. And I think you should think big. I don't think you should think small. So whatever that amount is, perhaps it is, I would like to earn, I don't know, 50,000 more a month. Think big. 50,000 a month. I want you to write that down if that is your goal. If your goal is better health, is a happy relationship with your children, write that down. Whatever, write down, I like a better relationship with my daughter, Julie, and my son, Tom. Write down whatever the goal. Okay, so that's number two. Write down the goal. Be specific. Three, I want you to, now when you write down the goal, also place it in a place where you'll see it every day. Now, if you're in a family and you write these goals, perhaps it's easier to keep your goals secret, don't have it displayed everywhere. I recommend maybe in your purse, maybe on your iPhone, maybe you have a little, a little snapshot or something like that. You want to start to plant the seed because it takes a while for a seed to harvest. So, in other words, if you have a disease or if your goal is wealth, whatever the goal may be, you're not going to wake up tomorrow, the next day, and it's going to just manifest. You're going to manifest these seeds. So now we're in the seeding process. You know how you seed, you go out, you plant your garden, you put your seeds out, and you're going to grow some flowers. Okay. So we're in the process of planting our seeds. We got to plant them really strong seeds. So that's why it's important to look at the goal every day because we want to plant those seeds. Next step is I want you to visualize the manifestation. So, in other words, if it's 10,000 more a month or 40 or 50,000, whatever the case may be of wealth you want to create for yourself on monthly or yearly, whatever you say, I want you to close your eyes and visualize you with the money. Maybe sometimes pictures do a really good job in our psyche. So picture you in your house to visualize the specific house that you want. Create it in your thoughts. Maybe it's just seeing the money in your account. I don't know. Maybe it's just visualize looking at your bank statement that you see the deposits 20, 30, 40, $50,000 coming into your bank statement. You're looking at it. So visualize the goal. Meditate on it. Write down your affirmations because you've already wrote down what you want and repeat them like a chant, correct? Avalanches of abundance. Avalanches of abundance is circulating in my life. Whatever the case may be, repeat it, repeat it, repeat it. Now, repeat it in the morning. And I recommend maybe you have a break during the day, you take a break, just look at it again. What you're doing is by planting those seeds, you will start in your subconscious mind, your conscious mind will start to change. Okay. Now, the next thing, now, if there's some hesitation when you do all of this, and there's something in you to go, you know what, I'm really feeling kind of foolish here. I have a really boring job right now. I don't have that much money in my bank account. And Margot says to me, visualize $30,000 in my bank account. I don't know what she's talking about, correct? Probably thinking, what is she saying? My dreams come true. You mean my dreams really come? Yes, 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 they can come true. So you're going to perhaps hesitate. So you got to ask yourself, why are you hesitating to believe in what I'm telling you to be true? Because it is true. Why? So you got to ask yourself why. Is it your upbringing? Perhaps someone told you when you were young that thinking big like this was just a crazy fantasy. Perhaps you have self-worth issues. You don't feel you deserve this great success that I'm explaining that you can, of course, have. Perhaps it's fear. Perhaps you're afraid if all my dreams come true, perhaps maybe the peers around you don't have as many things as you have, and you feel if you have more, then you're taking away from them because you're successful. Or perhaps you're concerned that they may not like you anymore because you're successful. Or if you're trying to lose weight, perhaps you're concerned that people will think you're a snob because you're trying. Whatever the case may be, there's always these kind of reasons that will start to bubble up because you're now changing your subconscious mind. So your conscious mind is going to say to you, you kind of lost your mind, correct? It's going to battle back and forth. So you're going to have to address what those issues are. Who told you you weren't worthy? Who told you a lie? Who told you weren't smart enough to have your own company? Who told you that you couldn't be a leader? Who told you you couldn't lose the weight? Who told you you couldn't get better? Who told you that you have cancer now you just have to accept death? Who told you these stories? They were lying. And because your mind accepted it because you didn't know any better, whether, our minds are quite powerful. So if I plant these thoughts in your psyche, you accept them, well, guess what happens? You manifest exactly what you see. Now, how you can get around the aging process is the following: you don't accept your age. You simply don't accept that you're aging. You simply don't accept. The only reason you're aging is because you see other people age. And the only reason you get illnesses is because you see and read other people getting these illnesses. So the key part is to never accept that lie. It's a lie. You can overcome your illness. You can slow down your aging. You can self-heal. You can. So keep in mind now, if you're hesitating on anything I'm telling you, you say, oh my God, this woman Marga has lost her mind. Yay! Well, it's just because your mind is waking up and it's kind of like, whoa, you mean all this time I really could be living the life I want? Yes, yes, yes. And no matter how old you are, whether you're a teenager listening to me, 50, 60, 70 years old, you can take control over your psyche, your mind, and create what you want. So ask yourself why. Now, a lot of times, depression is a really serious issue. So if you're listening to me right now and you're just, everything in your life just sucks, first off, you got to understand the world is a reflection of your thoughts. So if you're unhappy, you have to understand you created that path. Whether you're conscious of it or not, you're creating that unhappiness. So I'm telling you, you need to shift that thought process. Very difficult to do, because now once you take control of your thoughts, you'll be able to take control your once you control your thoughts, your behavior will follow. Also, you have to be conscious of the words you choose to describe yourself. If you wake up in the morning and say, oh my God, I have the worst headache in my life. How did I ever get this headache? It is just horrendous. And you talk about it all day, complain to your friends, oh my God, I got a terrible headache. Well, guess what? Your headache will continue because you programmed your subconscious mind to accept the reality that you have a headache, and therefore you keep manifesting it over and over. Also, prayer. The reason prayer worked, not because of prayer's sake, because you just say the words to God. The reason prayer works is because of your belief. Your belief and faith in God is why this stuff, why it happens and it manifests. It is your belief that it will happen. So you're praying to God, which is outside of yourself, but you're also praying to yourself. There's a connection there. So you have to be conscious of what you're doing. The reason it works is because you believe what you believe. So believe, you're creating your thoughts. So find out why you're hesitating. Faith and hope are critical, but faith alone is great. But it's time for you to also manifest those seeds as well and be specific. I have a headache. I want better health. My cancer is healing as I speak. Every day, my body is getting healthier. So you start to plant seeds, and your affirmations are small prayers. So you're going to start to put those thoughts in your mind. Okay, so now that you've addressed your issues, you've accepted that Margot is telling it like it is, because I am. And you say to yourself, she isn't lost her mind. I can create the life I want. Then you're ready. Next thing you do is you have to open your mind and your spirit and get rid of all negativity, get rid of all prejudging of situations. Open your mind and your spirit. Be prepared for the answers, because now that you're creating these affirmations and you've written them down, the answers will come to you. And let me explain, those answers may come in the most sporadic of ways. It's happened to me many times. I'll give you a really great example of something that happened to me that you're going to say to yourself, I can't believe she said that this happened. Okay, so years ago, I was talking to God. I was doing my little prayer to God, and I was saying, hey, God, I want you to reveal yourself, because, obviously we all go to church and we all pray, correct? And I said, I want a sign. I want a sign that you're here, God. So I was walking into a grocery store and I'm kind of shouting. These are all these thoughts that are coming through my mind. And I'm thinking, oh, God, I want a sign. So I was standing in line. I got my groceries and I'm standing in line. And the lady in front of me, I don't know, she was elder, she was older. She had gray hair. So I'm assuming like 70 or 80 years old. She turns around. I'm in the grocery store line. Now keep in mind, this is a Vons. I'm just standing in the grocery. I'm shouting to God in my mind, I want a sign. She turns around to me and she says, God told me to give you a hug right now. She reached her hands up to me and I almost had a nervous breakdown in the middle of Vons. And I hugged her. And I walked out of the store and I never questioned God again because he gave me a sign. So faith is important, but we're interconnected. All of our thoughts are connected. All of us are one. We're part of this human experience. We have existed for a very long time and we've existed in different manifestations, correct? There was a more advanced technology, a more advanced world that was destroyed. So we are on the cusp of a really great revolution. And the pandemic is an example of waking everybody up because the systems that were serving us, we believed in them, they were not true, correct? And you had to rely upon yourself. So I'm encouraging to develop yourself and to take your power back. And that's why it's important to take power of your own thoughts and your own mind. So open your mind and your spirit and be prepared for the answers. Perhaps it's in your dreams. Perhaps you're sitting there and you said to yourself, I want an extra $50,000 income a month. You never know. That message may come to you in your thoughts, in your dreams. It may come to you. All of a sudden, you decide to read an article or a book. Or perhaps a friend calls you out of nowhere and says, Hey, Margot, have you ever thought of this business opportunity? And that's the opportunity that's going to bring to you. It can happen in random ways. That's why it's important to be prepared and be ready to receive the answers. You can't have a closed mind because if you close your mind, how is God, how is the Spirit supposed to reach you if you cut off all the channels, correct? If you're sitting in the room and you never communicate, you never go anywhere, you never see anything, you never do anything, you just sit there. Obviously, it can come to you in a spiritual way through meditation, but sometimes the messages come through other people in other situations. So be open minded for this knowledge that's going to come your way and be prepared. Now, continue. Number 7, daily prayer and meditation. Continue to plant the seeds. Now, keep in mind, it may take some time for this idea or your health to improve. Obviously, if you have cancer and I'm telling you, you can heal your cancer, you're asking yourself, Margot, you're crazy. Yes, you can. It's going to take time. You're not going to, sometimes it happens spontaneously and quickly. It's your willpower. It is accepting that you no longer accept having cancer. You no longer accept being ill. You're healthy and strong, and you have to affirm it. Daily prayer. Next thing you know, is to make sure to place your mind in a loving and positive state of mind. And what I mean by that is obviously you're going to still have your fears and anxieties. There's Margot telling me the truth. What's going on here? I'm stepping out in this new world, in this new path. You're going to have fears. And you're going to have to listen to me. You're going to have to calm the fears down. You're going to have to take a deep breath. Listen to your own breath and say, I am. You got to come back to that less fearful state. Now, there was a point in your life where you weren't fearful. Remember when you were a baby and you came into the world? I don't know. Do you guys remember when you were in a baby? Have you ever seen a baby just have a nervous breakdown? The baby's always smiling and happy. They come into the world, they're crying, but even the instant they're born, they put a smile on their face. They have no idea where their next meal is. They have no idea if this person that's holding them will continue to love them in a way that they feel at that moment. But you trust the universe. You were taken care of. You have to go back to that state of belief that everything is going to work out. Fear is a construct of human life. We create fear to control others. So leave fear behind. Let it go. You're a fearless being. You're a spiritual being. You're not confined to this space and time. Your mind is a powerful thing. It can go backwards in time, forwards in time. It's a beautiful thing. So Do not allow fear to go in. Stay in a loving state of mind, meaning loving yourself. Now, if you have issues at loving yourself, perhaps there's a sense of self hatred. I don't know. Whatever the case may be about yourself, you need to figure out why. Why is it that you believe this lie? Perhaps you are just getting out of prison and you believe because you were a thief and you would spend 4 or 5 years in prison, your life is over. It is not over. You have to create the new you, the new life, the new beginning, the new you. You don't accept the past. The past was yesterday. Every day, your mind and spirit, body is renewed. The only reason you believe yesterday is because you were taught that yesterday had a great deal of meaning. It does have meaning, meaning you learned something, but that is the past. You no longer live in that reality. You live in the moment, you live in now. So daily prayer. Number 8, that was number 8. Number 9, everything happens for a reason. You have to accept this. Now, for some reason, if you get the messages and it's not working in its right space and time, sometimes in life things take time. God has a master plan, and there's an alignment that has to happen. So it may take 2 years, but don't give up. And sometimes God is testing your faith. Perhaps you've been planting these seeds for about 6 months. You're like, Margot, I had it. I'm doing manifestations. I'm praying. I'm writing it down, and you give up. God could say, I want to see if she's going to make it to a year before I give her what she wants. I want to see how far and how much faith she has in herself, she has in me, and how is it going to happen? I'm testing her will. See, it's all about your will to win, to survive, to thrive, to start a new company, to start a new beginning. How bad, how much faith does she have? So that's where. Then the next step, the last step is once it all happens and you're successful and you've built your business and you're making your money, I want you to go out and I want you to share with you the knowledge that you learned. You don't have to give me credit. I don't care about that part. But what I do care about is we spread positivity. We spread love and we remind people that their thoughts have power, their words have power, and they can manifest their goals and their dreams. You can do it. Now, this book, a lot of the information I read to you is out of many books, but one book in particular is called The Power of the Subconscious Mind, written by Joseph Murphy. Now, if you want a copy of the book, email me at GraysonKWhite@gmail.com. That's my assistant. And he will send you a free ebook copy of the book. Now, another book that's really good as well is A Man Thinketh. Think and Grow Rich, Power of Positive Thinking, Power of the Subconscious Mind, Magic of Thinking Big, Grow Less Travel, and Outwitting the Devil. That's 7 books I will give you for free. No obligation. Just read it, learn it, and pass this good message on to someone else. And if you like it, forward the ebook to someone else, because we can start a revolution, you and me, correct? Spreading love, spreading positivity, because we need to spread hope and faith and love, okay? Again, A Man Thinketh, Think and Grow Rich, Power of Positive Thinking, Power of the Subconscious Mind, Magic of Thinking Big, Grow Less Travel, and Outwitting this. 7 books. You don't need to get all 7. Get 1 or 2 or none. It's up to you, but they're there and no obligation. I'm going to give you until Friday, this Friday, to email me and you get 1 of the books. We are going to continue our discussion. I've been warming up and waiting until I got a lot of other things off my plate. This coronavirus is a big one. But I want to focus on the mind. So we're going to start a series of talking about different books and mind, because I can't get your mind in a certain space, which is really important, how can I talk about building a business? How can I talk about other things? Because the fear and lack of information and a lack of development will cause you to hinder and hurt your own self. The number one reason why people fail is they give up and they don't believe in themselves. So I'm asking you right now to promise me you're going to believe in yourself. You're going to know you can, and it can happen. But we are going to start talking about startups. Now, if you're starting a company or a business and you need an investor, perhaps I'm the person for you, perhaps not, I don't know, but I have other people as well. One of the key things, this happens to me quite a lot. People tell me they want to start their own business. I always ask them this question. I go, how much money do you need? When do you need it? And how will it be spent? Do you know that 90% of the time, no one can answer this question? So one of the first steps is you got to know what you want, and you got to know what you're going to do with it when you get it. You just can't say, "I want to start a business," come with a random number. Just have, believe it or not, it happens to me quite a bit. That's why I'm mentioning it. But I have great resources. I know a lot of great investors, and there's something there I can probably help you on. Now, investing, we'll talk a little bit of that. I don't like to give investing tips because it's your decision, your find this in your life, but I could just kind of talk about it in general. I have a fashion company I started many years ago. It always goes back and forth. And we're also going to start talking about films and TV. Now, I spoke about the Oscars a couple of months. I'm going to start to talk about the Oscars, not the Oscars, but films and production and all of that in general. I'm creating a list of different types of movies that I enjoy. I'm watching some great movies, TV shows right now. I'm watching 000 on Amazon Prime, which I got 2 more episodes I'm going to see tonight. Once I get more on my list, I will share that with you, of course. Now, if you missed something in what I stated or want more information, email me at GraysonKWhite@gmail.com. I'd be happy to email you, provide more information. One of the key things that my husband and I were talking about is that you don't have to age. I think this is really one of the biggest things. If we can slow down the aging or become ageless beings, how far advanced can we have? Because we'll have people living to 150, 300 years old, and they can continue to build and pass that information on to a younger generation, because 70 years is really way too short. I think you probably agree with that. So we need to get past the aging process, which I think is really important, and important that I pass on this information. So if you can live 150 years old, there's more wisdom you can bring to the younger generation and be able to help and assist as much as you can. Because most people don't really get to know themselves until they're in their 40s and 50s anyway. If you've done studies, most people who start a business are usually in that age range. So if you're in that age range and you say, "Oh my God, I feel my whole life is past me," it hasn't. You still have a lot more to go, a lot more things you can do, a lot more things you can achieve. So tomorrow, I think we're going to continue to talk about books. I'm going to talk about some other stuff as well. Now, I'm going to read to you a quote from The Power of the Subconscious Mind. It's a really good book. And this is a quote. I forgot I was going to read this earlier. This is a thing. It says this. This is in chapter 1. The treasure house is within you. Infinite riches are all around you if you open your mental eyes. And behold, the treasure house of infinity within you. There's a gold mine within you from which you can extract everything you need to live life gloriously, joyously, and abundantly. Many are sound asleep because they do not know about this gold mine of infinite intelligence and boundless love within themselves. Whatever you want, you can draw forth. A magnetized piece of steel will lift about 12 times its own weight. And if you demagnetize the same piece of steel, it won't even lift a feather. Similarly, there are 2 types of men. There is the magnetized man who is full of confidence and faith. He knows what he is born to win and to succeed. Then there's a type of man who's demagnetized. He's full of fears and thoughts. Opportunities come and he says to himself, "I might fail. I might lose my money. People will laugh at me." This type of man will not get very far in life, because if he is afraid to go forward, he will simply stay where he is. Become a magnetized man and discover the master secret of the ages. So that's from the book Power of Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. Email me, GraysonKWhite@gmail.com. I'll send you that information. If you have any questions, you can always email me at GraysonKWhite@gmail.com. Have a wonderful Wednesday. Take care. I'm about to go have dinner and drink more wine, I think, huh? God bless. Have a lovely night. Take care.